Welcome to another Tea Time with Tanya. I went to the store and got some kava tea. I went to the kava bar this weekend and I'm a little obsessed. This place is awesome. It has a tree that is on the ceiling. It's so gorgeous, and they do Kundalini yoga there. It's so rad. So new tea today, some kava tea from Jimbo's. I'm breaking the ice a little bit because what I want to talk about is probably one of the most taboo subjects. It's right up there with money, and it's sex. And I have a book called The Truth About Sex, Money, and Sisterhood that I'm in the process of writing. And I have definitely, for the past 2 years, been really diving into my own sexuality and sensuality. And I've done everything from going to an energetic sex workshop to asking the question, is polyamory for me? Do I want to be in an open relationship? You know, what is S&M? You know, after reading Grey, which is just such a, you know, it's swept across the nation. And why is that? Because I think women are starting to open up and claim their own feminine power, and part of doing that is understanding our sexuality and our sensuality, and the two I think are related but different. And so yesterday I wrote a blog post on shaving, on waxing, going Brazilian, right? Brazilian or bush. And I also had a conversation on Saturday night about polyamory. And that is when you have multiple lovers and in multiple relationships at once. Not dating. It's different than dating, and it's different than swinging. And so this morning, I woke up with just this tremendous amount of tension in my body. And I thought maybe it was related to my work. But when I looked a little bit deeper, there was a conversation that I needed to have with my roommate. And I think that the house that I moved into, I moved in here for a very specific reason. And I think it's related to my sexuality. And my roommate is a Tantra teacher. He's a master. He's been facilitating workshops on sexuality, on the art of kissing, on platonic touch. And I know that this man was brought into my life for a reason, to help me move through some of my own blocks and some of my own transformation and healing around my own personal power and in my sexuality. And so I had a conversation with him this morning around creating safe space for me. And part of that I realized is when it comes to sexuality, I don't have a voice. Let me rephrase that. I haven't had a voice in the past where it's been difficult for me to speak up, ask for what I want, say no, express boundaries. And so we went a little bit deeper today, and I asked him, you know, if I'm going to open up, I'm going to open up my heart, I'm going to be vulnerable with him, and I'm going to talk to him about my sexuality. I needed to have a very clear boundary of that I was safe and that I would not be taken advantage of for my vulnerability. And I think I really tapped into something here because it was waterworks time and I was bawling my eyes out and actually having him tear up a little bit in really feeling my pain of how much I hold back from intimacy, from touch with other people, and how scared I am of it. Especially with men, of being taken advantage of being used, of feeling just like a body and not loved for my heart and for my voice and what I need to express. And can I emotionally connect with someone? Can I open my heart and feel safe that I'm not going to be taken advantage of, that I'm not going to be used? And what we came to is that there's something there around me not wanting to give it away. And me being taught that you don't give it away, you don't have sex until you're married, right? But I realized how closely linked that is to business and this idea of generosity and this idea of opening up and sharing and giving away my heart and connecting. And as I look at this, I realize that what this all comes down to is another layer going deeper into owning my self-worth and my value, and loving and accepting myself. And through that, finding my voice to be able to express my clear boundaries and to allow myself, I create the safety for myself to hug for 5 minutes and feel safe in that. To not feel like I'm going to be taken advantage of, that it's going to go into some sexual experience. And what I'm finding is that there are men in my life who are so not dangerous, and they so want to hold that space for me, and they want to be that container for me. And it's me. This is the part that I have to surrender into. So to be continued. My roommate had to go out the door, and so this was just the beginning of I think many conversations and an exploration journey for my own healing. And this was extremely vulnerable for me to share this. Extremely vulnerable, and I see that our relationships are so closely related to business, and our relationships with touch and sexuality and worth so related to having exactly what we want. And for me to live a fulfilled life, for me to call in the one, my life partner, and to take my business to the next level and expose myself and be more visible, this is the piece. This is the deepest work that I can do. And I'm letting it out. I'm exposing it, and I'm requesting support here of you engaging in this conversation with me, because I know, this is why I'm sharing this, I know I'm not alone. I know so many women feel this way as well, and have this same fear, and have this same block. And together, I think by starting to talk about this super taboo subject, this thing that has been locked down, shut down by us letting it out of the box, this is the pathway to healing, and this is the pathway to empowerment and inspiration. And I see this as our access to living a joyful, fulfilled life, this conversation right here. This is why I'm drinking kava tea, because it's all about stress relief. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.